Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here today for this important announcement. My name is Marsico. I'm the District Attorney of Dauphin County. We're joined here today at the podium by a couple of elected officials. To my far left is my good friend and colleague, the District Attorney of Cumberland County, David Freed. Next to Dave is the Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Representative Fran Chardo. We're also joined in the audience by Representative Sheryl Delozier, from a good friend of ours from the West Shore, as well as her husband, Chris. We have Mrs. Jan Lewis, wife of Judge Rich Lewis, who's in the audience, I see. Always be nice to judges and their wives was lesson one. We're also joined by a couple of chiefs of police here today. Chief Jason Humberger from Swinara Township, Chief Pat O'Rourke from Berry Township, as well as a host of captains from the Harrisburg Police Department. I want to thank all of them for coming and joining us here today. I first met Fran Chardo when he was sitting in the waiting room of the District Attorney's office 18 years ago. Then District Attorney John Sheryl was out at a crime scene, had scheduled an interview with Fran, and John could not make it back for about an hour and a half. Fran patiently waited there in the lobby of the DA's office. I introduced myself to him, tried to get him to read a Sports Illustrated or something like that, and he kept his law book right on top of his lap. And that would be the first of countless hours that Fran Chardo has spent in this courthouse. He has spent the last 18 years of his life dedicated to making Dauphin County a better and safer place to live. He's been a tireless advocate for victims in the courtroom. Those victims who were victimized on the street achieved a measure of justice when they were represented by Fran here in the Dauphin County Courthouse. He's been an advisor and trusted counsel for police across not just Dauphin County, but throughout central Pennsylvania. I've been in the DA's office for over 20 years, and I can honestly say I know of no prosecutor who's been more beloved by police officers across Dauphin County than Fran Chardo. Fran has worked so well with every municipal agency, the state police, constables, you name it. Fran has worked with members of law enforcement from across this county. No question is unimportant to Fran. He takes the time to answer every question and to work with the police on every endeavor. Let's talk a little about the law. Fran's knowledge of the law and his trial experience uniquely qualify him for the position of judge. He has secured conviction against the worst offenders, murderers like Ernest Wilder, Sammy Randolph, for whom Fran secured death sentences. He's prosecuted complex cases and he supervised our investigating grand jury from its inception. Fran intimately knows the rules of evidence, which apply not just to criminal law, but to civil law. Every day, he is asked questions by members of our office. He's practicing law every day, mentoring new attorneys, working with the police, and dare I say, even judges defer to Fran on questions of law. His legal wisdom and scholarship is unmatched. But while a zealous prosecutor, Fran exercises his discretion as a minister of justice. No one in Dauphin County has secured the release of more prisoners from Dauphin County Prison. As I'm looking around, when somebody doesn't belong in jail or we need to get somebody out of jail, Fran's the one that does it. He saved countless tax dollars in that. If a defense attorney needs something done, who do they call? They call Fran, and he gets it done for them. When the late Patriot News reporter Pete Sheryl brought cases of what he thought were convictions that may have been obtained in error, Fran was the one that reviewed those files and made the judicial-like decision to dismiss charges against those individuals. Every day he's making decisions like a judge would, and again, that helps qualify him for judge. Fran's worked with the legislature. Ron, Sheryl, they know that Fran is a presence on Capitol Hill. He's helped strengthen laws to protect our children by expanding the need for background checks in our schools. He's taught hundreds of prosecutors and police officers across the state. In the community, he has served on the boards of the Boys and Girls Club of Central Pennsylvania. I see some of those other board members here. In the Capillary Unit of the American Cancer Society. He's devoted himself to this community. Most importantly, he's the husband of Christine and the father of these two lovely girls who are still in the show behind me, Katie and Sophie. You know, all of us, I see a lot of members of the bar here, but whether you're a lawyer or not, we have a vested interest in the effective administration of justice, of electing a judge who will do what's right, who will do what's fair. We have a tradition of fine judges in Dauphin County, going back years and years. And we also have a tradition of many prosecutors who have served as fine judges in this county. Both of my previous bosses, Judge Cherry and Judge Lewis, served in the DA's office and have had outstanding careers on the bench. If you were to be in court on a matter important to you, you'd want a judge who's been practicing law every day the last 18 years, who's been trying cases, who knows the ins and outs of the rules of evidence, as well as the courtrooms of this county. A judge who's learned in the law, a judge who will be tough because he's dealt with violent criminals, yet fair. A judge who will follow the law where it leads, discern the truth, and achieve justice. And most importantly, we want a judge of unquestioned integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, in next year's election, voters in Dauphin County have a unique opportunity to elect a distinguished lawyer and member of the bar, and someone who I know will serve this county in a great fashion as the next judge of the Dauphin County Court of Common Pleas. Ladies and gentlemen, Fran Chardo.
Good afternoon, Ed. Thank you for those very kind remarks. I'm very, very lucky to have worked for two great DAs, John Cherry and Ed Marsico, and I've learned a lot from both of them. You've already met my wife, Christine, and my daughters, Katie and Sophie. Say hello, girls. I consider myself truly blessed. And I thank all of you for coming here today. I see many mentors and friends here in the audience, and I'm touched and honored by your presence. Today, I formally announce that I will be a candidate for judge in the Dauphin County Court of Common Pleas in the 2013 elections. For the last 18 years, I've served as a prosecutor in the Dauphin County District Attorney's Office. And I've prosecuted cases ranging from capital murder to crimes committed by public officials. I've tried to serve my community both inside and outside the courthouse, serving as local board president for the Boys and Girls Club and the American Cancer Society. I love what I do, but I feel obligated to take the next step. When I started the DA's office in June of 1994, I had no idea I would still be prosecuting here as we enter 2013. I thought it was a good opportunity to learn about trial advocacy in the trenches, and that I would do it for 2 or 3 years and then move on. But very quickly, I came to love what I do. I continue to look forward to coming to work every single day. Many times as we've worked on cases, I've turned to Ed Marsico and said, you know, I really should have to pay you for this. It's really not fair. I love people and making a difference in the community in which I live. In the mid-90s, when I was a young ADA, I attended a meeting of our statewide association. One of the speakers there was Cumberland County DA Mike Aiken, now Justice Aiken. He was then running for the Superior Court. His memory of this speech that day has driven my career and has driven my decision today to seek judicial office. Basically, Justice Aiken said to DAs in that audience, look, I know that you love what you do, but you can't sit idle and not take the next step. If you want the judicial system to operate at its highest level, you must seek judicial office, because there is no better training for the judiciary than serving as a prosecutor. The prosecutor makes decisions of a judicial nature every single day. Should we charge this person? What should we charge him with? Should we seek high bail? Should we seek a mandatory minimum sentence? These decisions determine whether or not justice will be served. Court of Common Pleas is a trial court, and so broad trial experience is absolutely essential. The same rules of evidence apply to both criminal and civil cases. Trial judges need to know the law of evidence to make decisions on the spot, then and there, without the benefit of extensive research. The only way to gain that knowledge is through doing. Practicing as a trial lawyer is the best preparation for serving as a trial judge. Most of the trials before the Dauphin County Court of Common Pleas are criminal cases, almost 3/4 of them. You only have to pick up the newspaper or turn on the television news to see the impact of violent crime on our community. This community needs judges who will address the cases that this crime wave produces in a tough but fair way. I have been to many, many crime scenes and seen firsthand the devastation caused by violent crime. I've seen the heartache that violent crime produces as I've sat with the families of the lost in preparation for criminal cases and bringing the perpetrators to justice. Based on long experience dealing with violent felons, I am ready to take the next step. For over 18 years, I've made the calls that needed to be made to serve justice. Every day, I made tough decisions that would impact others. As a prosecutor, I had to make those decisions based on the public good, not on the interests of a single client, as lawyers who represent individuals or companies must do. I pledge this to you. I will work diligently and honorably as a candidate for judge, just as I have worked as a prosecutor. And if entrusted with this position, I will do the same as a judge of the Dauphin County Court of Common Pleas. Thank you.